I'll start.
Okay, you start.
Good afternoon, curling fans, and welcome. We're coming to you live from the Remax Curling Center in St. John's. We're doing draw 6 of the Women's 2025 Provincial Championships. Today we have a game between Team Blandford and Team Godsland. This is Techie Trev, once again doing emergency fill-in duty on the mic, and I'm pleased as always to have Kathy Cunningham right next to me.
You're so funny, Trevor. You're so funny. By the way, to all of our viewing audiences, Trevor is under duress here. This is not his forte. He likes to be behind the scenes and not in front of the microphone. But I feel like he's missed his calling. So
I don't know about
jury's out. Maybe he doesn't believe that, but I do. So this is an exciting afternoon, I think, Trevor. We've had some interesting wins and losses over the last couple of days. Some of the teams we thought might be out of it by now are certainly not. Some of the teams we didn't think for a second would be at the top are at the top, and it is a fight to the finish, I think.
Absolutely, and as we saw earlier today, it ain't over till it's over. These teams, you never know when they're going to give up a key shot that gives the other guys the advantage.
Yes.
And we saw that this afternoon. But it makes for exciting curling, and we thank you all for joining us.
So some of the teams on the women's side of things, some of the teams have 4 games already played. Some are playing their 4th game this afternoon. So we'll just give you a roundup of what's going on from top to bottom. Brooke Godsland, who we're watching here today, is at the top of the heap with 3 wins and 1 loss. Carrie Vautour, who is, I believe, on sheet 5, is she?
Sheet 3, actually.
Sheet 3, the other feature game this afternoon, is in 2-2, 2 wins, 2 losses. Sarah Boland is playing as well this afternoon. She is out there with just 3 games played and a record of 2-1. Stacey Curtis is out there playing her 3rd game with a record of 1-2. Wendy Dunn out there playing her 3rd game, a record of 1-2, and Megan Blandford as well in this feature game is out there with her record of 1-2. So all the teams that have 2 losses are kind of up against the wall. I mean, anything can happen, obviously, but this is a 1-2 finish. So unless you're in a tiebreaker for the 2nd place, the 3rd place team is out.
Right.
So Brooke and Sarah right now are sitting with 1 loss each. Brooke Godsland and Sarah Boland, that is. They have 1 loss each, and they would like to keep it that way, I imagine.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah, so they've got their hands full out there, though, because as we have seen, the ice has been a little tricky. I was talking earlier about how good the ice is in our club, but I think the cold weather and a couple of tricky runs, a few straight spots and a few curly spots are throwing the curlers a bit of a wrench here and there, Trevor.
Absolutely, and that's where the experience of the skipper can really pay off. Whoever reads the ice first obviously gets a huge advantage. And I don't know what it's like on sheet 4 today, but yesterday there certainly was one side that was much, much straighter than the other. And as always, whoever picks up on it first got a huge advantage. And then it comes down to execution, of course.
Absolutely. It always comes down to that, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
The thing about the world of sport comes down to execution.
Our partner in crime over there, Techie Kevin, he always likes to say, curling is easy. It's all about the right weight thrown at a well-placed broom.
At a well-placed broom. Yes. I used to say, I remember when I first started curling with Heather Strong, I used to say that she was one of the few curlers that I knew who actually slid on the broom 90% of the time that she threw a rock. And I was always in awe because my curling career was more about where am I and what do I need to do to make this shot? Yeah, because sometimes when you're sliding out, I mean, it looks easy enough because it's so graceful looking. It's not easy. You're putting all your weight down on one leg. If anyone's done a lunge at yoga, you get the feeling. You know what we're talking about. And you can lose your balance really quickly.
Absolutely. The curlers make it look easy, but anyone who's never thrown a rock, I challenge you to come down and make it look easy.
Exactly, yeah. And for those of you who've played for as long as I have, although I'm not playing anymore, you also have a sort of an uneven body. You've got one side of your body that's stronger than the other side of your body because that's where all the weight has been all of my career. I was sliding out on my left leg, so my upper left leg is a lot bigger than my upper right leg.
Oh, that was a nice run back there by Team Blandford. They rolled the stone they ran back rolled open. However, they got rid of a dangerous
Yeah.
looking rock there.
This is a very young team,
Very young.
coached by one of our techie supporters, Emily, and I think they're all in school, as far as I know. I believe competing in under 18s, maybe, or under 21s. I didn't verify that right before I played, but they were at the 2024 under 18 Canadian Championships. Hannah Connolly was at the Ottawa, was at the Ottawa Hunt Club, I think is where they played. That was the year that Simon won.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Megan was there, I should say, and she's also silver medalist at the Newfoundland Winter Games last year. Apparently, she's a keen artist.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
Didn't know that about her.
It's fantastic
Yeah.
for them to be
Yeah.
playing here and playing against some well-established teams.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The experience, of course. They got a bit of a break there where Team Godsland's rock rolled out on the hit.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to come around there, but they slid a little bit too deep. Well, no, quite a bit too deep. But I guess Godsland's probably got the blank in mind here now at this point. So
I would think so. This doesn't look like an easy shot here, Trevor. I mean, I think that blue rock is partially covered by the guard. Now, I mean, it's going to curl and it's a very high guard. There's a lot of distance between the back rock and the front rock.
there is.
But you still have to be careful.
First end down the
Yeah.
center line always gives
Yeah.
me the heebie-jeebies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a technical curling term, I believe.
Heebie-jeebies.
Heebie-jeebies.
That's the one, yep.
So she's coming at this with some nice quiet weight. They're working it pretty hard. I guess you're concerned about the line.
Yeah, I think they are going to have to go. That is moving, isn't it?
It is indeed.
It is moving.
That sticky center line.
Yep.
First end.
She's going to hang there, I think, in the back, though. Is she? No, maybe not.
Megan is going to make sure that goes out, I think.
I love watching the kids and their sweeping techniques. They're so much better than those of us who have sort of evolved with sweeping.
Yeah.
I just love watching them, and they learn so much from these events that they travel to, these under 18 and under 16, I think it is now, 15 maybe, under 21s. There's so many junior championships now, and I think it's great. And they learn so much from all of those events that they get to play in, and they're so technically good.
They are, absolutely.
And just, I mean, they're so tiny.
Yeah, they're
all
not
of
much taller
them.
than the room, some of
It's
them.
really hard to imagine how they generate
Yeah.
as much weight as they do when they're throwing rocks, but it's just so, they make it look so easy.
They do indeed.
So this is a draw to lie too,
Amazing.
which is, really going to put a little bit of pressure on Brooke right away
Absolutely.
in this first end.
Yeah, that's the way to do it without hammer.
Yeah, yeah. So while we're waiting for Megan to throw this rock, I'll just bring everyone up to date as well that on the men's side of things, we've got 2 games going on out there as well. Neither one of them are televised this afternoon, but Parker Tipple is playing Andrew Simmons in Section C of a triple knockout, and Corey Shue is playing Ty DeLello in the other Section C game. And so far, Andrew Simmons and Ty DeLello have earned a spot into the playoff weekend. Tipple and Shue are, as we like to say, on their face. So they need to win to stay in the championship. So they'll be gunning pretty hard for a win this afternoon. And we'll keep you up to date on the scores as we go through the day. It was a nice draw there by Megan. I mean, I think she would have loved to be a little bit higher, but I think it's placed really well in that there's no double opportunity for Brooke that I see.
No. She had a great line,
Yeah.
a little bit too heavy.
Yeah.
But as we were talking yesterday, it's really nice for her to get a draw under her belt in the first end like that. Fairly low drama draw for her. So now Godsland has a more dramatic draw to follow her down there. So Megan is line
Yep.
2.
She did her job. You know, as I said, she would have loved to have been in on the tee line, and as you said too. But she's forcing Brooke to one here, and
That's right.
and I think at the end of the day, if you asked yourself if you had the opportunity to force the other skip to one in the first end, you would take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you would definitely take it. This has got to be good weight because there's no backing here, so
I think that's going to come in there just nice.
it
by the
is.
look
Yeah,
of it.
and it looks like she does
Oh,
get
it's
enough
real
curl
nice.
to get the backing.
And that's in a tricky spot to do anything with. So
Mm-hmm.
Megan will just go down on top of that one.
Yeah.
And as you
And she's
said,
just
she'll be
thrown
happy
it.
with the force.
Yeah.
So
And I'm sorry about that to our viewing audience with the chit chatter. I lost track of the fact that we are not yet at Last Rock.
oh,
So it's not quite a force yet. Hopefully I haven't jinxed anybody out there, but
I thought you were talking future
Yeah.
future tense. Going to be a force, but
yeah. She will attempt to force by throwing this rock, but she just threw it, so odds are
she should be
she's
close.
in she's got a good opportunity to do exactly that.
So the sweepers are laying off this. They're looks like weight is all there. It's starting to make a move there now across the center line.
Yep, there it goes. It does have a little bit of extra weight, I
to
think.
go.
But yeah, you
Trying
need
to
to carve
curve it
it.
in
They
there.
are really trying. Really, really trying. Oh,
Oh no! Oh,
I guess
dear.
maybe I did jinx her.
Oh dear!
Yeah. So with that, there goes the force, and Brooke has an opportunity now to take her two. Important for her to take her time. You don't get too many, as we call them, free opportunities. Although nothing is free, you don't get an open draw for two too often.
No, that really came out of nowhere.
In a
didn't it?
competition, in a competition such as this. So it's one of those times as a skip where you need to take an extra second and make sure you make the free ones, as we say.
That's right. And there she goes. Brooke is delivering the rock, and similar to Megan, she would have just thrown this. So the sweepers jumped on that right away, Kathy.
Yes, they did. It doesn't have any extra weight, I don't think, Trevor.
No, I don't
No.
think so. And what was it you were
They're
saying about
going
the
hard.
free about the
Yeah,
free ones?
I know. I'm jinxing everyone here, all over the place.
Wow, they are
Oh,
pounding
it's
that though.
going.
They are pounding
They are
it.
getting there. They are
gotta
getting
get-
there.
they
Is it
gotta
going to make
touch
it?
the
Is
eight, I
it make it?
think. No, no.
Ay, 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 ay. Okay.
Oh dear. Well,
So-
several turnarounds on that end for sure.
Yep. Maybe I didn't jinx Megan. Maybe I predicted. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to stop doing that. Don't want that going on, and I don't need that hanging over my head.
So after one, Brooke Godsland is up 1-0, and we'll be back, and Megan will have the hammer. See you in the second end.
So welcome back, everyone. And we have a pretty open end going on here at the moment. So while we watch some rocks come into play, we'll give you a quick update on the other women's games that are going on at the same time. Carrie Vautour scored a big 4-ender against Wendy Dunn in the first end, so she leads 4-0, and Wendy has last rock going into the second. Our game 1-0 for Brooke Godsland. Megan Blandford has last rock this end, and Stacey Curtis scored 2 against Sarah Boland to go up 2-0 after 1, and Sarah will take last rock into the second end. And there we have a finished update. We do not have an update on the men's scores yet. But as always, you can go to curlingnl.ca and click on competitions or scoreboard, and you will find all of the scores in all of the games for the weekend. Nice hit and roll there.
Yeah, Brooks, who's that? Camille, I guess. Her first rock slid in a little too deep, so that gave Team Blandford the opportunity to hit it, which they did. Had a nice little roll over to the side, so this will be a bit different path for them. And they're just hoping to make this go away, of course, and try and keep the shooter around. Looks like it might be a tad wide, is it?
I think so.
Perhaps more
So
than
she
a tad.
ticked it.
She's ticked it.
Is she going to remove it? No.
No.
No. So what will Megan do? Oh, look, there we go. Megan is going top 4. And she knew what she was doing. Oh, no. Changed her mind. I guess she forgot she had last rock.
Split up the rings.
Now she's going to split the rings. Good for her. Someone reminded her, or she reminded herself. We're not sure. We don't have mics on the players, so we're kind of guessing here sometimes. But this is going to be an out-turn draw, T-line, and I think she wants to be T-line or better.
Yeah, you don't want to go back too far there now.
No, I do think that Brooke will hit anyway, wherever she puts it.
Goes.
And you know, in Megan's defense, I don't think a corner guard would be awful here either.
No, true enough. Now, this is going to go deeper than she wanted, but there's a lot of... Oh, my goodness. I didn't realize it was going that deep.
Yeah.
Well, they're even.
They are, and they cannot both be removed at the one time. So it is going to take Brooke 2 shots to get rid of these 2 blues. So Megan is in good shape, even though, you know, back of the house is not necessarily where you want to be. But like I was just saying, Trevor, I do think that Brooke is going to hit anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot of aggressive play out here since the beginning of the week, and that may be the ice conditions.
Right.
And also, before the competition, the rocks were flipped and dusted a bit.
That made a huge difference.
Sandpapered, I guess we want to call it. That makes them curl a little bit more. And, you know, everyone was getting used to new conditions, and I think in that regard, you tend to be a little less aggressive if that's your normal, you know, mode of play. Looks like blue is second shot, so that means Megan has indicated that she's going to hit this yellow one. She wants to stay in the back of the house and lie to.
Would you do that now, Kathy, with hammer? Would you try and bring that one into play right away, or would you try and do something more creative?
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have done that at all. I wouldn't have drawn into the house. I would have put a corner guard up on the opposite side of where this one is in the back 12.
Right.
Because I don't want to draw play back to that and freeze to it. So I would have taken the advantage of the fact that they rolled out and I could put a corner guard.
Fair enough.
So, you know, and also I find like hitting in the back of the house is very difficult. You have no margin for error.
No, that's right.
You roll 2 feet and you're rolling out.
Yeah.
But that was a nice shot. I mean, that was a beautiful shot,
Very good
actually.
shot.
This is not a makeable double for women. I don't think. Maybe Rachel Holman could make it, but I don't think so. So this is just a hit and stick.
Yeah.
Important, however, for Brooke and her team to hit and stick now.
That's right. They want to be shot.
They don't want to roll out because that will hand the advantage right back to Megan. I hear some pretty hards out there.
Is that our sheet there yet?
I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, it must be. They're going hard on it.
I'm
I
not
think.
entirely sure. This does look pretty good, though.
Oh,
Oh, she won't be
no.
sticking around.
Just what you said.
Yeah.
You jinxed him again.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the back of the house there. There's just, like I say, no room for error. You can't roll more than 3 or 4 inches, or else you're
Then
risking
you're
rolling
gone.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is a bit tricky now for Megan, because like this one with this shot rock being in the back of the house, in the middle of the house.
Yeah.
You're not going to put one T-line now because you'll set up a double.
Absolutely. It'll be a free swing at a double.
Yeah. So she's called an in-turn draw to the top 8 to get as much separation between these 2 rocks as she can, and to try and set up that if there is a double, that the other team may be able to make the double but won't be
roll
able
out.
to stick their shooter. So
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Well, she's coming out to help here, so I don't
She
think
is, but I don't think
has
she
a
needs
lot.
to. This looks like it's got
It's
plenty of
going.
weight to get in the rings, and it doesn't need to be deep. It just needs a bite.
She's just cold. She wants to.
Yeah, she wants, she
wants
wants
to
to warm
warm
up. Sure. I used to do that. Yeah.
So now
That's a great shot.
It is a good shot.
Yeah.
As you say, if they do make the double there's a pretty small chance. I don't think it is possible for their shooter to stay in the rings there.
No, I
If
don't.
they hang around outside the rings, then Megan would have something to go around, something to work with, possibly.
Yeah, she might. So this is Erin Porter throwing. She throws third for Brooke Godsland. This is
And there's more yelling.
a double
And this is
attempt
close,
on
I
Erin's
think.
part. No.
Oh, she is in the rings. Oh, look
She
at
is
that.
in the rings, yeah. So she's made the hit, but she's not shot. The blue in the back is still shot, and now Megan is going to play. She's indicating that she's going to play a hit and small roll to roll the shooter onto the rings. She can go either way. She does have to negotiate the back one if she rolls to the left. So I would like to think she's going to try and roll to the right. I don't know if I would play this either. I might be tempted to go around.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the come around
Yeah.
might be the thing there, but I guess you play to what you know and what your strengths are.
And there's nothing
And that
wrong with
actually is
this.
a
There's
beautiful
absolutely
looking weight.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this call. Don't get me wrong. I do think that there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you don't like having the opponent's rocks in the rings, then take them out.
them out.
You
Yeah,
know,
fair
and
enough.
at the end, if she doesn't have an opportunity for 2, then she doesn't want to have to risk a steal either. So
Right, right.
if it's not there, it doesn't count. And
That was
we
beautifully
did have that
thrown.
philosophy sometimes too. When you're not really sure what to do, there's nothing wrong with what she's done.
It's a really nice weight that
Mm-hmm.
she threw on that as well.
Now, this is an interesting call as well. Brooke doesn't have last rock, but she's and I suspect because of that she's not willing to leave the blue rock in the rings either.
Right.
But this is really important for Erin to hit and stick, because if not,
Right.
then Megan has 2 shots that she can play. She can split that front one and lie 2.
Oh yeah.
And it looks, her 2 points look really good, or she can draw around it. And in drawing around it, she could set herself up for 3. So it just depends on who makes what for the rest of this end. But it is important to stick this shot.
Looks like she knows that pretty good there. Yeah. So she's there. So
Mm-hmm.
Megan will be able to hit it, and if she sticks around, as you were saying, it's getting dicier and dicier to hang around back there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of running out of rings back there.
So in-turn hit here. And this is Megan's, sorry, not Megan's. This is Megan's 3rd last rock.
Yes.
Kirsten's last rock. Yeah, there's 2 skips rocks each left.
So this must be pretty close, judging by the sweeping action. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yep,
right
looks
on,
like it.
right on the nose.
That's a good shot. And, this is really nice to see everyone figuring out the ice this afternoon, Trevor. There's a lot of nice shots being made, a lot of nose hits when it's important to stick, and they're making them. It's great. It's great curling.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're down to skip stones. We have 1 in the rings in the back of the house, and a guard just outside. Oh, I think Brooke may have gotten a little outside on this one. They're working hard to curl it. Okay, I think it behaved. Yeah.
I don't think she's gonna stick.
Oh dear.
No,
There we go.
no.
Now
So let's see what Megan's gonna do. Will she call the split or the come around? Oh, the come around it is.
it's a very it is a splittable rock though,
And
isn't it?
she's
Hey?
not even thinking twice about it. So she knew what she was gonna do right away.
That's
This
good.
is great. I love to see that decisiveness, especially in a young skip when she's playing in a competition like this. All of these women that she's playing against are all older than her. They're more experienced than her,
Yeah.
and it's just great to see someone so young have so much self confidence and know exactly what she's doing out there. She's obviously has a plan, and she's sticking to
I can
it.
do it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Good for her.
It's a good opportunity for her now. Let's see what she does with it. Oh,
So in-turn draw around the center guard.
the sweepers are laying off it so far. Now they're getting busy. Okay.
Now they're getting busy. Yep. Here
the
they
weight
go.
looks nice. I
The weight
think.
looks really nice,
From what we
actually,
can tell.
and the line looks really good too. It's just a matter of how much weight she has. Do they need to carve it now? I think so. Hey.
Oh, that's a good looking shot.
Oh, it's a great shot. Good for her. So she didn't get it all the way under, but she did bury a piece, which means that Brooke is not going to be able to roll under. So the good news for Megan is if Brooke makes this shot, she should have an open hit to blank.
Yeah.
And Brooke has to be very careful that she doesn't take the front.
That's right.
Because that's a 3-under then if you don't
Pretty
hit
much
it
the
hard
same
enough.
line, I think, is what she just threw. So they should
Yeah.
know what this rock is going to do.
It's close, yeah. On the same side of the sheet for sure. And it is a bit tricky if you get it a bit wide. So, and there's no question that Brooke knows that. She just threw a shot that she did throw a little tiny bit wide. So she'll be careful this time.
Sweepers are laying off it. They're just letting it. Oh, now they're trying to curve it a bit.
Yep.
And as you said,
I don't know if it's going to stick.
oh, and it is gone. Now, does she go for the split?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or did
I
she
certainly
throw
would
through?
if I was her, but.
It's a pretty splittable rock. You don't. Where it is a great spot. You got lots of rings.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes wonder our cameras tend to skew things a little bit, but what you see is what you get here. It's really only about 6 inches off the rings, and I do think that that's a shot that she could easily make, but they don't seem to be looking at it.
No. Oh, I think she's having pause for thought there in the hack at the moment.
Okay. So someone's mentioned it. And now I see I see Kirsten asking, what are we talking about? So are we, nope. And
No, we're
we
just
settle
throwing-
back in and
throwing
we're
through.
throwing it through.
Well, they seem quite happy about it.
They do, and you know, it is a personal choice, and she's happy to have the blank, and that's fine. It's her game. Her choice.
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break, and I'm going to sign off because I do see Scott Eaton, who's a much, much better announcer than I am. He will be sitting in, but always a pleasure, Kathy.
Well, thanks very much, Trevor. I appreciate the company.
There you go. guys are on.
Okay. So, welcome back, everyone. Just as was the case in the last end, Camille has brought her first Rocky into the house, and we're not entirely sure if that's on purpose or if she's just a little bit heavy. I mean, the natural course of things for a curling game, Scott, is that would not be on purpose, but this has been a very strange playoff and championship because I think the ice is trickier than the players are used to, and so maybe she is bringing it in. I don't know. Wouldn't be me.
It is definitely been a little trickier than in past years for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. The ice has been a little bit straighter. It's been really curly in spots. The weights seem to be very up early and then down later in the games. There's a lot of management going on for sure. I probably wouldn't come into the rings down one with hammer, but hey,
Yeah.
to each their own. And in 10-end games, you got a bit more time to sort of play around. So who
That's true.
knows?
Yeah, that's true. So now she's rolled out, and Megan did this in the last end and as well. She called it to the top of the four, then changed her mind and called it to the wings. But this time she's leaving it as a draw to the top of the four, which again surprises me a little bit. I would think that a corner guard would be a better use of her
Right,
time at this
right.
point. She has to generate 2 points, and I don't see how you generate 2 points by just coming into the rings.
Got you.
Yeah.
This is, that was called the junior deuce when you try and split the rings. And,
Yeah, it was,
perhaps they're
wasn't it?
following that course. But yeah, I mean, that always works better when you got one in the rings and then you're splitting.
Yeah. Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
And I think it's not. Yeah, it's really not. Now, in the meantime, this is the third end, and one thing I can say about this young woman is that she does know her own mind, from what I can see, and so maybe she's just decided that this is an opportunity for her to try and blank this end again. She doesn't. There's no penalty to do that. For those of you that were watching the Grand Slam over the last weekend,
Yes.
that was a test situation last weekend to see how the players felt about the double blank penalty. But that doesn't happen here in Canadian curling sanctioned events. So she can blank 5 ends if she wants to. So maybe this is why. And, the other side is, and we have chatted about this over the last couple of days. I haven't chatted with Scott about it, but he'll be familiar, is even ends are important in a game of curling. You always want to have last rock in the 10th if you can, and so it goes that you would have it in the 8th and give the other team, force them to 1 in the 9, that kind of way. So you'd like to have it last rock in the even ends. This is not an even end. Maybe Megan's content
It
to
is
blank.
a lot of work to try and blank from 4, third end now, I guess, to 4,
Yes.
to 5, to 6, to 7.
Yeah, no.
To
Yeah.
keep that rolling is difficult. And, early in a 10-end game to try and, keep it on the even ends. I don't know if the
I
value
agree.
is there
Yeah.
necessarily. I think trying to get on the board and get, especially down a point, you're trying to force the issue. So hard to say. But I agree with you. Having played a couple games alongside of the young Blandford team, they are certainly nothing if not confident and pretty much more knowledgeable than I was at that age of the curling game. So
it does.
yeah.
It is. It's fabulous to watch. Actually,
Yeah.
I remember as a 17 and 18-year-old playing the game, and we had no clue what we were doing. We were out there just trying to make shots. It didn't matter, and if you made shots, then you generally got to score. But there
Yeah.
wasn't a whole lot of strategy in the game. These days, there's a lot more strategy. Kids know a lot more about the game. They're a little bit more intense about it all, and I think much better at it than we ever were at that same age. So, good for her. I agree with you. It is a bit early in the game to be thinking of keeping even ends, but I don't know in my mind why she didn't put a corner guard. So I'm trying to get into her head a little bit.
Get
and
into
say,
the Blandford
maybe
zone
she's thinking
here.
this way. Maybe she's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give her the benefit of the doubt for sure.
I mean, some teams are just more comfortable with a defensive style of game as well. Some teams don't love to be making the sort of soft weight shots all the
Yeah.
time around guards, and that can be, due to ice conditions as well as just preferences. So, I mean, hard to say. I mean, maybe that's what's going on in her head a
Could
little
be.
bit.
It could be, and young teams do tend to hit better than they draw, and if that's their default, then that may be her game plan. Just keep it simple. you know.
when I was
And
going
there's
through.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was sort of going through the junior ranks as well, it was if you were playing a team, then you kind of thought that they may have had an edge on you in skill or experience. You try and keep it close for as long as possible, and you never know what's going to happen late in the game, right? So,
That's true.
yeah.
So, for those of you who are interested in what's going on in the men's games, which are not televised this afternoon, we don't have any score on sheet 2. They've blanked 2 ends in a row, but there are lots of yellow rocks in play down there in the end right now, which is making Parker Tipple a little bit happy, I'm sure. We'll give you an update on what happens in the third over there, but they're tied at 0-0. And on ice 6, which is where the other men's game is going on, Corey Shue against Ty DeLello, and Ty is up 1 after the second end. Corey Shue is last rock in the third, and just really low scoring right now, hey?
Doesn't look like there's more rocks in play on 6 either.
No.
The first rock
So
looks like
Scott's
it's
on
coming
the-
into
yeah.
the ring. So
Scott's on the sheet 6 side, and I can see the sheet 2 side, so we'll let you know how that goes. Not a lot of change in the other women's games either at this moment. The scores haven't been put up for the second end, which may indicate blanks and may also just be that the thirds haven't put the scores up yet.
I know Wendy was on sheet 6, on sheet 3. Okay, so I knew she was hitting against 2 there. She must have made the double and roll out. Must have been a great shot.
Yeah, not sure, because they just haven't put the score up.
Yeah. This is all conjecture, really.
Yeah, yeah. And we still have an open end here with Blandford and Godsland. Just a hit for hit here.
It's, nobody's really rolling out either. Lots of
No.
nose hits called and made.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. It's good. I mean, they're obviously getting a little bit more comfortable
Yeah.
with the ice conditions, which is nice to see because no one likes to be
I
afraid to
shouldn't.
play shots.
I
but
shouldn't have said anything. She just rolled out there. That's.
Always
I think I
the
willed that.
commentator's
Yeah.
voice. Always the way, isn't it?
I mean, the writing's a bit on the wall at this point. I think
Yeah.
we're kind of headed towards a blank or perhaps a nose stuff on the. I shouldn't have said it. Oh no, sorry again. I'm ruining everybody's day. You never know. Brooke might try and find some piece of ice here that's a little bit tricky. And what is the thing about
Yeah.
rolling out?
I mean, I think that is it is the ball's in Brooke's court here. She could try and draw around that corner, which doesn't. I mean, there's not a lot of corner there, but
No, but even if you get it half buried, it's
yeah, you
pretty
just
good.
make it a bit tricky, don't
Yep.
you? It just makes changes the situation slightly. It's no longer an open hit. You've got to think about whether or not you can tick the front. You don't want to do that. It gets into your head. Takes a So this is what she's trying to do.
I
Is
think
hide a
it's
piece behind that corner.
gonna
not
be pretty
curling.
wide open,
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
not curling as much as she had hoped. I don't think.
No.
So a nice attempt. She
Yeah,
had the
good
right
weight.
idea.
Yep.
Right idea. Right, pretty much the right weight. She probably had to go deep to get it buried either way, but it is wide open for Megan. Megan's happy.
Everyone's kind of happy.
Yeah, yeah. So she likes to play them from the center line out. That was never my forte. Oh, I was just terrible at those. If I could play outside in, that was where the broom was going for me.
It's you and me both.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Did she stick it?
It's real close.
Oh, it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Man, we got no perspective. I think it might be in
It
though.
might be. It might be.
Maybe it rolled just too far. Can't tell.
Yeah, don't know. Might be worth putting the stick on it. As
Yeah.
You say. They'll know.
May not matter, you know, if
No.
Brooke freezes.
I mean, like certainly from our vantage point and the camera angle, it doesn't look like it's on. But you and I both know that that's no indication.
That is, yeah.
That is no indication. Yeah. Yeah. You've got to be standing over the rock, looking down at the rings.
Yeah.
And if you can see white, it's probably not there. But if you can't see white, it's a counter.
All
And
kinds
if
of
it's a counter,
variables.
it's a beauty.
Yeah. I mean, great attempt one way or the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, sometimes the pin's not quite in the right spot or these types of things. Doesn't happen very frequently, but
That's true.
you never know if she goes for blank. Brooke might try and put a stick on it just to see if she can force her.
This is just not a piece of ice that wants to curl over there behind
No.
that rock. And I don't know if Brooke maybe didn't take less ice in knowing that she definitely wanted to be there. And
Yeah, I mean, if she's confident the blue is not in the rings, you know, doesn't want to flirt with the guard, I suppose. I'm not 100% sure either.
it is wide open.
It is wide open. You are right.
But it is a straight spot. Maybe she doesn't like that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, maybe she doesn't like that idea, and that's why she's drawn.
Just
for a
drawn
one.
against one. Tell you what, it looks a lot more wide open from up here on the
certainly
camera.
does.
It
No,
it doesn't look
it
the most
look like
inviting.
it's wide open down there,
Yeah.
does it? But it is. And
Yeah.
I mean, she's got air
Yeah.
between the two yellow rocks. There's at least a rock width, so she's got room.
It's got it looks pretty good, I think.
This looks pretty good. There goes my theory. She
Yeah.
obviously doesn't care about taking one in the third.
I guess so.
You know, it wasn't about the blank. That's
No,
for sure.
no.
Nice draw.
This is a great
Great
draw.
shot.
Yeah.
Great shot. She made it. She called it. Good
It.
for her.
Call that made. All you can ask for.
Yeah.
Well, tie game after 3, so
Yeah.
game on.
Yes.
Oh, we will be right back. 30 seconds or so, I gather.
So, welcome back, everyone. And Megan and team placed their center guard up front. It's a little high, but it's a good guard. It's right on the center line, so it couldn't be removed or touched by the Godsland team. So Godsland has no choice but to try and come around. They came deep, as you can see, the little yellow rock there peeking out from behind Megan, and now she's calling for a
Calling for the hit now, I think.
hit the nose, but I think maybe quiet way.
Yeah, just trying to
So a
leave
little
the
bit
shooter
of
right
ice
there,
there,
roll
so,
under.
yeah.
She was looking at the freeze for a second, which would have been an interesting call as well.
Yeah, I don't mind the freeze.
No, me neither.
I don't mind a straight draw either at
No,
this point.
no.
Although the guard's a bit high.
Second guard would be interesting as well.
Second
but,
guard, yeah. Wouldn't be bad either.
This is the thing. There's always
But
so many
she's-
options
yeah,
in curling.
I mean, she's been playing fairly defensive.
Yeah, this
Since the beginning. So this is
kind of
you
adds
know,
up.
consistent with the way that they've been calling the game since the start.
Yeah,
It's a good shot.
nice shot. Yeah,
Hit and stick, and you can't get much more than that out of it.
Nope.
It's a pretty good shot. And she doesn't care if she's behind the tee line.
no, not if you're trying to
No.
force. Yeah,
No. So she's, bringing play into the house. There's a guard in place. Team Blandford is doing their job here in this end to looking, pretty healthy here.
nice center guard.
Yep.
Nice rock in the 4-foot, kind of
Yeah, they
a
might
little
get-
exposed, but I think they forced
Yeah.
Brooke to kind of throw a hack waiter at this one, which is nice. A little soft weight, you never know. On the curly side, shouldn't over curl. You wouldn't think the guard's in play, but sometimes those are in your periphery.
They are, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah, in your line of sight.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes when they're in your line of sight, you fiddle with the handle a little bit
Yeah.
at release, and you don't know where it's going. Or you push it out a little bit because you're afraid it's going to tick.
Yeah, this one looks pretty good. They're kind of
Yeah.
off and on it, so imagine it's pretty close.
Looks good.
Yep. I'm sure it has the
And
weight to
it's
push it out.
curling.
doesn't it?
It's curling. Might go out the other side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Nice shot. Changes the shot or the side of the ice for the shot
Mm-hmm.
now for Megan's team. So keeping things fresh.
So I'd say she's calling for around the same type of weight that they threw on the first one. Just the board kind of light hit weight, light control.
Just enough weight to make sure you keep your shooter
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
I think to keep it from doing anything wonky. You throw it too light and it can overcurl. on you.
Yeah. This is
But
hanging a bit, but I think it's okay.
well, it
She's
looked
gonna-
like it was a bit wide of target, but it's not actually.
That's
She gets
that
the
nice
nose. They
weight.
didn't get the roll, but they got the nose hit. That's good. Game on, as you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing their jobs out there.
Yeah, and that is it's a nice thing. She did throw that nice board weight, and then on the straighter side, right, she was a little bit wider, so if she threw a bit more weight at it, it probably hangs and might roll out. Well, they're keeping things in towards the center, so that's good to see for Blandford's team. Sarah McNeil-Lambswood will try and hit it. Make a nice roll underneath the guard. She will be above T line, I think, if she rolls under here now, which is nice.
Yeah. Nice quiet weight
Yeah.
here. Looks like it's got
Might
potential.
be-
It's got
gonna roll in a
potential.
little bit.
Oh, she got a little
bit roll.
2-inch
Yeah.
2-inch little flop there, but she did bury a little bit more of it, so that's
More
makes
of
it a tiny bit trickier
Yeah.
for Megan and team. So Kirsten will give is it Kirsten yet? Yes, Hannah. It's Hannah. I think that's Hannah.
Yep.
They'll have a go at this again. Same shot they just threw. They will then attempt to get a little flop on the inside. Same thing.
This looks a little bit. Well, it looks pretty good. They're on and off it. I can't see the the rings from where I'm at. It looks a
No,
little
I
wide,
think,
eh?
I think she's a bit wide this time.
Yeah.
They're really gonna, and they're not calling to carve it, so she
No.
must have maybe just
Little-
overthrown it.
little bit of bigger
No,
weight.
No, she got a piece.
She's gonna roll
I
out.
did not think that was gonna come that far. So good for her. She did her job. Does put the ball back in the advantage. I think back in Brooks' hands now. They can take advantage of that guard now and try and get a top 4 instead.
Yeah, it is a high guard, but it does have the feeling of an end where the first one to get buried is probably going to score. So
Yep.
now she could run up and peel the guard and run away with a blank end here, but like you said, fourth end, even end. Perhaps she's looking to score, and get one
I
on the
would
board.
say so. I think she'll try and get her 2 for sure.
Yeah,
It's a bit
yeah.
early in the end to bail on it and say, "No, I don't want to do that." So, that's like to your point. It is a high guard, and
Yeah.
it can be sort of an advantage because you should be able to come around a high guard and
Yeah,
tap it. If
yeah.
someone buries something, it's not really buried when the guard is that high.
Yeah. So this is the thing about coming around a center guard, though, when you don't have hammer. Now she's light. Now you set
Yeah.
up the 2 center guards to stagger there. So all of a sudden, advantage Blandford again.
Exactly. It's funny how the game swings around so quickly, isn't it?
Give it and take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it is. So over on sheet 3, the Dunn-Vautour game, Wendy Dunn picked up 1 in the second. So Carrie
Or in the third there, yep.
Sorry, in the third. Carrie Vautour has last rock going into the 4th end. She's up 4-1. Our game you know about, and Stacey Curtis and Sarah Boland are over there. It's 2-1 after 3.
Yeah, Boland getting the 1 there in the third end.
Yeah. So Stacey has last rock up 1, coming back this way in the 4th end.
Yeah, and in the men's games, it looks like on sheet 2, the Simmons-Tipple game, it looks like Tipple got forced to 1. No, gave up a steal of 1 there in the third end, I think, to Simmons. I think they were lying sort of 4 buried there at one point. I was surprised,
Okay.
but, these are the results. And then on sheet 6 in the DeLello and Shoe game, it looks like DeLello is up 1 still, so it's a blank in the third there, yep. Low scoring games in the men's side.
Certainly is. Everyone's afraid.
That's it.
They want to stay in, but they don't want to be knocked out.
It's one big end
Yeah.
can ruin your run here. So
certainly
I
can.
understand the sort of intensity.
So we've got two nice center guards in play for Megan Blandford to take advantage of this yellow rock that didn't get buried. She can certainly come around and hit that and roll under fairly easily. I think I shouldn't say easily, but it's a makeable shot.
Yep.
With the right weight, they can get a little flop underneath that guard and put a bit of pressure on Godsland, because this rock, if it does hit
This
and roll,
is
will be
curling.
above the tee line.
I think she's on the guard. Yeah.
Oh, she got it going, I guess.
Yeah, it's on that side of
See
the
on her
curls.
face that she's not very happy. So I just saw Brooke swing her broom toward the center line
Yeah.
guard, and I think she might have been asking her team if they liked the idea of the split. I
split.
like the idea
Yep.
of the split, but the team doesn't like the idea of the split. Or maybe maybe the broom is there for the split.
I think based on that broom, they're throwing the split tap there. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, might be.
I guess the argument could be that it's a little bit early for it. But I never hate lying 3.
I don't either, and I think you have to. I mean, if I'm Brooke
Yeah.
as well, I think she has to take a look at the fact that she's playing 18-year-old girls
Yep.
who have never played in this tournament
Yep,
before,
yep.
and this is a really good time to put some pressure on Megan and lie 3 if you can.
100%
I like
agree.
this call. I do. I really like this call, but
It looks a little bit light. I
It's
think she's
not
going to
gonna
tap the
curl
one in
enough,
there,
yeah.
though. That's not really a bad outcome.
it isn't. In that she's lying 2, but this tap is still there.
It is. Well, I say it's not bad. Yeah, and there is. It's almost like another stagger on center
is,
there if she can
yeah.
get this hit and roll under.
Now's the time to make it.
Yeah.
though. Yeah. She probably won't get another chance. And this is her first rock.
Mm-hmm.
It is open, not completely, but it is partially open.
Probably about half to 2/3 open there. So probably has to be something in the
from the right hand
back line, hack max weight.
Absolutely. From the right hand hack, she can see
Probably
at
see a little
most
bit less of
2/3.
it, yeah.
At most 2/3. Yep. Which is, I think, maybe why she's looking at it so hard now. Nope. Here we go.
If you're feeling very
She's throwing
brave.
it. She's feeling it. So.
Yeah. So that broom is obviously for the tap or the hit there,
It
but
has to be,
she
because that would be half that
Yeah.
for a hack weight
Yeah.
shot. So she's just looking to push it back, I think, and flop under.
yeah.
The thing with this much weight, and she doesn't have a lot of weight.
It's pretty close.
See,
I think
you can
they're-
see it coming here now.
I don't know
She
if they
doesn't
left
have
it
a
too
lot
long.
of weight, but she with this type of a shot, you do have to hit a lot of it.
Yeah. Ooh,
That's too bad.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think just a little light, hey.
Yeah, I think that looks like it
overrolled
was
on her.
maybe sort of back 4 weight. So maybe the broom not in the right spot for that weight, or perhaps not thrown quite strong enough. But
And I think that yellow rock looks like it might be in now
she
too.
might
Is
have
it?
tapped them in for a 3rd point. Hard to say.
Well, if she didn't, they're going. Brooke's going to move it so that she can.
Yeah.
She's gonna try and take
Yeah.
it just to lie for her for sure. Maybe not with this rock, with her
Yeah.
next one if she
Yeah.
gets a chance. But Right now, I think she's got no choice but to come top 12 there on the realty.
In the gap there.
Yeah, in the gap in the realty on Remax Realty Specialists there on the
Yep.
rings, I think. On the EA. If she could sit right there. Yeah, if she could sit right there on that and block the path towards the shot rock. I think that's a pretty good shot.
It's about as good of a placement as you could put it. And then you'd force Megan into a very difficult shot.
Megan is really going to have to think about what she's going to do here, isn't she?
The line look pretty good if the weight
They're not
is.
sweeping it, which they're not sweeping it, which I don't know why, because I think there's no harm in bringing it in.
It might be over curling a bit. I don't know.
No, oh yeah, it is too. It's heavy is the problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so Megan's got to hit that.
Yeah, she's definitely got to hit some yellow.
She doesn't have anything else to do. She's got to hit this, and I think if she could flop under the blue quarter rock and give Brooke a draw for 2, I think it is as good as she can hope for here. I don't think she can roll under. If she rolls under,
It's hard to say.
under the yellow, I mean, if she rolls under the yellow, she's going to leave yellow as a shot anyway. But that makes the draw for 2 a little harder.
Yeah.
So
If
she
she
can roll
leaves
either
herself
way.
sort of frozen on the top one, like if she does try and roll under the yellow and leaves herself kind of frozen on it, and she's second shot, I'm not sure that she will be, but if she is second shot, that's not a bad result either. But I kind of agree with you. I think probably trying to roll under the corners is the way to play it.
I think one and the same. One and the same.
This is got a
She's gotta
nice
make
bit of
the shot.
weight.
That's the thing. She's got to make the shot. She's got to stick this. She's got to
Looking
stick the
pretty
shooter
good.
somewhere. She has to stick the shooter somewhere.
And just caught it a little bit thick, a little too close to the nose there. Still a pretty good effort, but I think she's shot for the time being. But
She is, but it's for.
it is
it's for
exposed.
3.
Yeah.
It's a hit for 3 or 4. We don't know if the front yellow one's on or not.
I imagine they will throw a stick on it if they're are not sure. But you got bets, Kathy?
Either, yeah, I think it's on, but again, our camera angle isn't perfect. Our overhead is a little,
Oh.
maybe it's not. Maybe it isn't. No, might not.
I'll take it. I'll take the not on action
Yeah, maybe
for
it isn't.
pride or
But either way, it's hit for 3.
certainly for 3.
Yeah, a hit for 3, and I don't think Brooke will be unhappy with that. She she can make this hit and stick here.
So looking
Yeah, she's looking pretty good here.
pretty good.
Looks pretty good. She can't go wrong as long as she finds a hole, I think.
That's pretty clinical.
Yeah. So 3 for sure. Might be 4. We may have to wait for the score to go up, but the girls are going to look at it. And if we don't get the stick out, then it's probably 3. Because if it was me, you'd be measuring for that.
Yeah. Well, one way or the other, you'd think somebody would want the
If
better.
I was Megan, you'd be measuring for that 4th point. I wouldn't be giving it away, that's for sure. Would not.
Kind of an interesting end. The momentum very back and forth all over the place there.
Just a couple of misses on the Blandford side of things, and it really broke it open for Godsland.
Sort of 2 in a row there, I think. And then possibly tapping her in for the extra. So, yeah, it looks like they're off to get the stick.
They're off to get the stick, and we will come back in 30 seconds or so, and hopefully we'll know the outcome.
Oh.
So welcome back, everyone. So it was a 3-ender, 4-1 now for Brooke Godsland. And here we go again. She calls the first one in. Now, in this particular case, as we were just discussing in the break there, we do think that this was on purpose this time because she's up 3 and she doesn't really need to do anything.
No,
here.
in fact,
Now it's up to Megan, right?
Wouldn't be surprised if she called a freeze here on top of her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, really all the pressure's on Megan to try and score some points. And if she keeps kind of putting them on the center line, she's going to force them to make a play on their rocks before Blandford can lie a few. So not a bad call. Yeah, it looks like it was the freeze on the one top 4 there.
I like that Megan put up the corner guard. I wish she had done it back in the second end, but she did this time, so good for her. She sees now that she's down a couple of points and she's really got no choice. She's got to generate her own game now. So she's put up a corner guard, and it's a nice corner guard. It's in a great spot, exactly where it should be. A couple of feet off the rings, a couple of feet off the center line. And so good for her. Now they're going to go around it, ignore what's happening at the top of the 4-foot, which is exactly, again, what she should be doing. Textbook curling here, so she knows the game. She knows what she should do.
This looks pretty good as well.
That's
It might be a
close.
little bit deep, but more room for more blue. So.
But it's going to be buried.
It's going to be
which is
fully
really
buried.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And now she's, this is good.
It is nice to see her draw around the corner so early as well.
Brooke is looking at this and asking about the corner guard, but she can't hit it yet.
No,
Right?
One
No,
more rock.
It's too early in the end. So she's changed her mind. Going to put center guard on
Center
her
guard
2
up.
yellow rocks now. That will wreak a little havoc on Megan's plan, but
Yeah.
this is kind of the way the game is played, and Megan will probably run it up.
It is why it's so hard to come back from deficits. Is teams are so good now at putting the rocks just top 4, while you're trying to accumulate, put up your corner guard and draw around and get sort of set up for an extra point. But then all of a sudden you got to be throwing a run back and rolling to a corner guard and playing high weight precise shots. Now this one over curled a little bit.
Yeah, it did. So it's given a glimmer of hope here to Megan. She can. So she's okay. Are we going to peel? She's asking their team. Are we going to peel? Are we going to draw? Are we going? The blue is number 2, so the other team is only line 1. Or are we going to hit the 2 yellow? I think you got to take the chance here. I like this call. What she's doing here. I think the 2 yellow are exposed.
Yep.
Hit and stick, lie 2.
Yeah.
Even if it's not 1 and 2.
I mean, she could hit and roll to the wings and fly sort of 2 and 3. If she hits it sort of close to the nose and she ends up kind of frozen on the yellow, that's pretty good as well. You just got to make sure you leave the shooter.
Yeah. Yep, I think so. I think they got to go hard on this one, though.
It's going to just be a
Stay
single
on it,
peel.
girls. Stay on it. You don't want to jam it on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, not bad.
Nope.
Still a good shot.
Missed the way there, I think.
Yeah.
If she ever flashes it on the wide side, that's kind of disaster. So not a bad miss, but you do see Brooke's eyes light up a little bit there as she runs up to the corner guard to
She
peel
said,
it.
I'm not having any part of that center guard.
Yeah.
I call it to start with. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's hitting the corner. This is a fairly defensive move. She could put the guard up and put some pressure on Megan, and I'd be inclined to do that.
if she
But I
was-
was always a proponent of don't change the game plan.
Right.
You go from being offensive to defensive, and then if you miss a shot, you're like all of a sudden they're catching up, and then you get frustrated with that. So when you've got control of the game, I like to keep control of the game by staying offensive.
Yeah.
It's not textbook, but that was the way I liked it.
It's a textbook. It's Kathy's textbook. It's coming to you in 2026.
Nice peel here, though, Scott. Like they did their
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Yep, they did their job, and now Megan's going to try and replace it.
And I like that call as well. Sometimes after the corner guard's peeled, teams are not super sure what to do, whether to play the hit there or to draw in to lie a second shot or what have you. I think, putting it back, just it's worth trying to waste
I
a few
think so.
rocks.
It's
I think.
early. Yeah, it's early enough in the end. You don't know what you're going to get out of it.
Yep.
In trying to peel the corner, they may jiggle these yellow rocks around that make it a little easier for Megan to score her 2 or maybe 3. She right now can't get rid of those 2 yellow rocks without rolling out herself. So she needs a bit of help in that regard. So, a misfire on a peel and she might get the help she needs.
Yep,
You
yep.
never know. If Brooke and team hit the blue rock a little thin, it comes into the rock, into the house, and it's going to jiggle those yellow rocks around.
Yeah.
Now they're looking, can you hit this black blue?
It looks pretty. She probably got most of it from the hack.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a little, not quite edge on edge, but probably 3/4 open at least.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So again, probably worth going after it.
Little curl over here, though, remember?
That's true, yeah. And this does look like quite a bit of
Tricky
ice.
shot. Tricky
Yeah.
little shot. Might go, it might curl, like, in this section. We were out a little further
Right.
a couple of ends ago, so...
Not a ton of weight being thrown
No,
at this either.
that doesn't surprise
Yeah.
me, where it's so straight, yeah.
It's sort of hack weight. This is pretty close.
Yeah,
Yeah, she should be good,
It's
though.
going, but she's got it.
Yeah, good scrub there. Keep it from diving over towards
Really
the
nice
yard.
shot, however.
Yeah.
Megan can freeze this and lie shot and be covered. So, you got not entirely covered, but partially covered if she was so inclined.
Yeah. It looks,
She doesn't seem to be, but
yeah, she's
I'd be inclined if I was her to play a freeze here instead of a
to
tap.
play the sort of nose freeze on it or the corner freeze or
I just play straight up.
Just the nose, yeah, okay.
Nose freeze or, you just want to be shot. Almost nose.
yeah.
It's T-line, so you want to be almost nose.
This is over curling.
This is really over curling, and it's not going to curl enough. I don't
It's
think.
like they committed to the audible, which is not a
Yeah.
bad idea pretty early when it was.
Yeah, they tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now Brooke is going to choke off that freeze,
Yes. Yeah.
which I would do too, because I'm not sure she should have called that shot to start with.
Yep.
Appeal would have been a better shot for a defensive game, which is what she seems to want to be playing.
Yep.
I think the peel was a better shot for her to call because, Megan could have frozen on that back one very easily, and if she had called that, then Brooke would have lost her end.
Yep.
She would have lost the pressure that she was putting on her. But she can reverse that now by choking off that freeze. Got to make it.
Little bit looking pretty out there right now. Wouldn't be surprised. Well, it might be heavy, might be the issue. 'Cause the sweepers have not laid a broom down to this.
So
Not bad weight, actually. It just didn't really curl. I mean, it takes away the freeze, probably.
do you think so?
It's close.
Yeah, maybe.
It's harder now, anyway.
I think Megan's got to hit the outside of this and try and get a couple of yellow rocks moving.
Yeah,
Here. She's got to free up some space. While we're just waiting for that rock to come down, just noticing that they put the score up on the Curtis Boland game, and Curtis picked up 4 in the
Wow.
4th, so she's gone up 6-1 after 4 ends on sheet 5.
That's a bit of a crooked score there. Haven't seen many of those on the ice yet today, but that's a pretty big lead after 4 ends. So they'll be
That's a very nice
happy with
shot.
that. Yeah.
By Blandford and Sons and Daughters. She cleared it up. She opened up the 4-foot a little bit more. Brooke is going to play the same shot, I think, to try and sit top 12 on the Realty of Remax Realty. So Megan's not out of hot water yet, but that shot definitely helped.
Yeah, it's like you say, a guard, not really a guard, a rock there, top 12, serves as almost a guard, but also sort of a third shot sort of for more pressure, to put a bit more pressure on the Blandford team.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that was Brooke's game plan. She wanted to play in the house and not out in the front. So she's happy.
Yeah.
She's very happy. This is curling.
Line looks pretty good, I think.
Okay.
It was curling, though. You're not.
No, I mean the line looks good. You got a better
Oh,
vantage
yeah,
point
yeah, I did.
than I do. Looked like it had potential to overcurl, but maybe not. I think you could freeze that though. Could you not? Could you get between those yellows?
Pretty tough.
Yeah, it's
I
tough.
think.
Yeah.
I mean,
It would have to
if
be
you
curling
had
hard,
to,
wouldn't it? Yeah.
you could maybe. Ugh, I don't know. I wouldn't want to throw it, Kathy.
No, fair. Me neither. Megan's in a bit of trouble here, though. I mean, she really can't afford to hit this and roll under. She has
No.
to come in contact with that rock that's on the back four now. She's got to try and move that, I think, and open this up completely so she's got a pathway to score.
I think even if she misses the back yellow here, if she leaves her shooter around on the wings, like I think Brooke will probably hit it, and she'll open up
She
the
might.
4-foot for
Yeah,
her draw.
She might. She shouldn't, but she might.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens when you're
Yeah.
up points. All of a sudden,
That's just my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. You're free to argue because there's 1,000 different things that you can do in the game of curling. And it's all about what you're comfortable with. I agree. I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
That Brooke is. She's indicating that she's not interested in getting into anything difficult. She'd like to keep it open. So if this does stick in the 12-foot, I think she will hit it too.
this one is curling a bit. I'm not sure if she's going to stick around. Might be close. She had a nice weight. I don't know. Oh, I think it just rolled out. Yeah.
So there's no doubt in my mind
Yeah.
that she's coming around.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
there you
no
go.
blue rock to hit
No.
now, Kathy. So,
No, that's right.
yeah, if she can kind of tuck half of the rock behind that guard she just threw, it'd be a really tough one for Megan.
For sure. For sure.
Although she threw that nice draw in the third end, so kind of down a similar path. So, she'll have a good idea of what it is anyway.
So just to give our viewers a bit of an update here, Wendy Dunn stole a point on Kerry Viture. So although she is still down 2 points, she's closing the gap. They are playing in the fifth end as well. So Kerry is currently up 4-2, and she has hammer. In the men's on sheet 6, we have had a steal of 1 as well by Ty DeLello. So he is up 2-0 on Corey Shue. And in the other men's game over on sheet 2, Parker Tipple took 1 in the fourth, and that game is tied 1-1. Andrew Simmons has last rock in the fifth end. And you're all up to date. And Brooke was a bit light, missed that golden opportunity, unfortunately. So
Still
Megan,
line one buried.
Yeah. Megan is, she's got to draw to the 4-foot. She's got to hit the button, piece of it, maybe. Full 4 for sure. Piece of the button.
Good full 4.
I think if you had asked her a couple of rocks ago when the other team was lying 4, if she would be happy with this shot, and I think she would say, yes, thank you very much. I have a chance to score, which is really as much as you can hope for when the other team was lying 4 or 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's never fun drawing or hitting against 4, that's for sure. She'll be much more comfortable with this one, I think. Sweepers are working it early. I don't know. Weight looks close. Might be a little tight on line.
It might be a weight thing. They're definitely got to go hard on this.
Yeah.
Really
It's diving
hard.
towards
They
the
gotta
guard.
go. They gotta go. They gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta rub it in. No.
Not quite.
too
Now,
bad.
that yellow at the back. Is that one
yeah.
touching? I think it might be.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Aaron indicating that it's 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 2. 2 yellow for Brooke Godsland. So she is gonna go up 6-1 now after 5, and we are going to take the fifth end break. We will be back in a few minutes. So welcome back, everyone. Currently, we are sitting at 6-1 for Godsland over Blandford. Megan's got some work to do, but they are doing the right thing, putting up corner guard. Nice placement.
A little tight to center. But
Yeah, it might be a little tight to center, but it's not too bad.
You're not mad about a guard at this point.
No, I don't think they care that much,
No.
right? A couple of inches here or there is
Yeah.
not going to matter. It's guard, and Brooke's going to remove it the first chance she
It's
gets,
true, yeah.
if she gets a chance. So the girls are just trying to generate some action here now. They need some points.
Yeah, it looks like Camille put her first one top four again.
Yep.
Been pretty clinical with those the last couple ends. So
She's got that weight in her
Yeah.
back pocket, and it seems to be that was their plan from the start, from what we can gather, because that was what they did the first end, and they kept doing it.
yeah,
So they just weren't going to give, just going to be patient and wait their chance, and I guess take advantage of the fact that Megan's team is quite young and a little green in this environment. And, I know they're capable of making lots of shots, but today it doesn't seem to be going their way. So Brooke's plan is working out.
yeah. For Megan's team now, I think it's they've had a bit of a debrief at the break here now, and I assume the coach will have told them to just kind of keep calm and just focus on the mechanics and try and generate some points, get the draw weight down. And it's not as though they haven't had their opportunities to put a bit of pressure on Brooke. So, hopefully we'll see a bit more action out of them now in the second half and try and force the issue a bit and get a nice deuce on the board here now
Yeah,
at some point.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pretty good shot. She did stick her shooter. I think she could have drawn into that pocket and done herself a favor, but she's young and she might not see that type of shot as advantageous. It does, it does mean her team has to execute the shot too, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to call the shot that she thinks they're going to make, which is exactly what she should do.
Yep.
And that may be why she's playing the open hit. I've always been a strong supporter of when you're down 5 points, I don't think hitting is a good idea. I feel like to generate points, you've got some rocks in play, you've got a corner guard up there, chuck a blue one in front of these yellow ones and see what Brooke does.
Yep. It is unnerving, I think, and this is to your point about them being sort of a more green or younger team. It can be a bit unnerving. There's two yellows, two opposition stones in the rings.
Yeah.
You got a guard, and if you're trying to throw another guard or draw around yours, and you leave them shot two, and there's all of a sudden there's three yellows in now. It's I can understand the anxiety for sure of wanting to just get rid of some yellows, but I would agree with you as well. It's when you're down 5, rocks in play are your friend.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they will learn that over time.
Mhm.
Nice shot. I mean, they are making the shots that they're calling. I think she would have liked a roll either way, roll over and sit on top of the yellow or
Yeah.
roll underneath the guard. Didn't quite get it, but they did execute the shot. So they throw really well. They're very close to making a lot more shots than they're
Yeah.
actually making, but they're very close. I kind of liken it to a car needing a bit of a tune-up. They're so close, and if they could just turn the wrench or the knob a little tiny bit more, and they'd be making huge amounts of shots and putting a lot more pressure on Brooke. This is a good call. I like this. Good for her. Call the guard. She called the guard. She's going to use it now. Now that these yellow rocks have been moved off the forefoot, because they have, she's just going to try and draw around her own guard. Good for her. Gutsy call, but good. So she is willing to ignore the yellow rocks as long as they're not in the forefoot.
Yeah, she might have just not liked the placement of the yellows before.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't like the draw path. Now this one is hanging out a little bit. But if it does just tap the top yellow,
It's not too bad
not
either.
too bad. No.
I think they gotta go.
A little bit light.
Bring it in.
Might just sort of
Bring
be
it
a freeze
in.
here.
Freeze it on. Oh, maybe it's there on its own.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it is. It's a good shot.
yeah.
It's a good shot. It's not what she called, but that
No,
doesn't matter.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
excellent weight.
This is set up for a run double too. These two yellow rocks can be
I think
removed
so.
now with one shot.
Yeah.
And if I were her, and Brooke is
It's peeling the
doing what
guard
she
there,
should be doing, is peeling the guard. So she doesn't want Megan to go around that. However, Megan can come around all of this
Yeah.
and lie fourth shot behind everything if she
Yeah.
wants to.
Yeah.
And she still has an opportunity for 3 with one hit on that top
Yeah.
blue one.
And by freezing
Yeah.
the top one, she's almost kind of queued it up. Like she
She
can hit
has,
the
yeah.
blue almost anywhere.
Absolutely.
And make the
Yep.
2 yellows
Yep.
go away.
She can. She can. And it's close enough. She'll probably get some drag off of it, which means
Yep.
that she can maneuver it a little bit on her own.
Yep. Oh, never mind all that.
Well,
It's an interesting outcome for
that
sure.
is an interesting outcome.
So just
a
sort of
little
ticked
tick,
the corner, yeah.
a little tick. Removed one of her own, left Megan's shot rock, and an opportunity to draw around this corner guard. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. This is not over yet.
this is why we throw the shots in curling. Right?
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're no guarantees. Yeah.
What do we know, Scott?
Yeah.
What do we know? So in turn, come around.
Yeah. Sweepers are working this one. The weight looks pretty good if they're by the guard.
Looks good.
Yep.
It's close.
It's close on the guard.
Oh, well, they're just dusting.
Oh,
They're
just
just
chipped
dust.
it.
Oh no, they're not just dusting. Okay, my mistake. Not a bad shot though. She's not heavy. This is good. She's still got 2. She's got 2 corner guards. She's shot rock. Brooke has to hit. Brooke feels she has to hit the blue one that's in the rings. I don't think that's the one that's going to hurt her though. But
No.
she's going to play this and try and roll under everything now. But Megan is in pretty good shape. She's got a couple guards up front, one in the house.
That blue
Not
that
too
she
bad.
just threw is fairly splittable.
It is.
If it comes into play later in the end.
It's also tappable. It's so close to the house.
Yep.
And she owns it, so there's nothing wrong with that either.
Ooh.
She can play this run as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very usable rock for her.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said,
Here she goes, right?
ran right up to
Yeah.
play the run
She's
back.
like, lucky me. Look at this.
Like the look of it, obviously. Pretty much dead nose, and you probably roll the shooter or probably roll that blue under the corner guard and leave your shooter right there. Should be great results. This is over curling. I think. I think she might have over curled the guard. She might have the yellow there. And
She must have got it going a bit,
Yep.
but it's not a bad shot.
No, pretty good
It's pretty
outcome.
good outcome, yeah. Pretty good outcome. I don't know, maybe it picked. I'm not sure. We didn't see it, but it was a bit off target. So either way, the outcome was spectacular.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that she didn't come in contact with what she wanted to. She made a really nice
Mm-hmm.
roll, and now Brooke is pausing for thought.
Having a few thoughts there.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So in the ladies' game on sheet 5, which is the Boland Curtis game, Boland was able to recover a little bit, got 2 in the 5th end. So it's now 6-3 for Curtis over Boland in the 6th, and Curtis has last rock.
And it looks like on sheet 3, Kerry Vautour got a 3-ender in the 5th. So they have gone up 7-2 after 5 ends.
Wow. That's a big lead.
That's a big lead.
7-2, 6-1. It's a big lead here too, ladies and gentlemen, on
It is.
sheet 4. So I didn't see the call, but I'm gonna say this is come around lie 2 or
I can't see
guard
it
the
being...
run.
Well, yeah.
Guard the run, throw up a center guard, off center,
It's a pretty good call.
stagger
too.
it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good call. It's easy, and it forces one forces Megan to try and draw
Yeah.
for one, which Brooke wouldn't mind at all, giving up, letting her have one.
I think based on where the rock, how it's coming down here now on the line, I think that was the call. You got to work to get this over. Ugh.
And they
It's
did.
just
And the line
over.
is decent. I think
Brooke
this is
runs
probably
over and
still
gives her
doable, though,
sweepers
is
a high
it?
five.
I think she can. Can she come around with the right weight and
So this
promote that?
side does curl a bit more.
Yeah.
No, this is her first, correct? So
She's looking at it.
even if she just splits the blue or taps it and kind of exposes the yellow, that's not a bad outcome either.
I think
It
she
might
must
be
have.
there for a run though. I don't
I
know.
don't, I don't know. I think she might have shouted down to her team because she moved over to the other side and now is looking at the draw around everything. So she must not be able to see enough of it from the hack. So in other news, over on Sheet 2, the men who are duking it out for a spot in the playoffs. Parker Tipple picked up a steal against Andrew Simmons. So he's up 2-1 after 5. They're playing in the 6th, and Andrew Simmons has last rock.
Tipple has gone on quite a run here. As
Quite a
place.
run,
Yeah.
I know. We were chatting about it before the game, and I had made a comment that Tipple was on his face and didn't realize that his whole family was sitting there. And I said, sorry, guys, but he really is on his face.
That's
And
just
they
how
were
C division
that's
works.
that's where he is. You're right. He's on his face. And I said, and he's like, everyone's afraid of him now because he's been on a roll.
Yeah.
He lost his first 2 games, and he's just chucking right along there.
Well, we were a victim of Tipple in the C division, and then he went on and he beat Perry and Greg, and man, he's giving Simmons a run here. So oof. They'll be tough moving forward.
So that was a fairly decent attempt there by Megan. She's made a nice hit. A nice draw. She's not quite shot rock, but Brooke has got to hit it anyway. Didn't curl as much as she had hoped. She was hoping to sink a little bit of it underneath all of that front guard mess that's up front, but it didn't quite get there.
No, just kind of hung on her a bit. That has been the straighter side. But the draws are moving okay over there, so maybe it was a bit wide.
So I think the key here for Brooke is pick away. Are you trying to get it under again to line 2 and really stick it to Megan, or roll away?
Yeah.
So that yes, you're line 2, but you don't give her a chance to make a double back.
Ooh. Or. No, I don't think that was in the plans.
No, take the front was not in the plan.
Just take the high guard.
So now, this is a chance for 3, isn't it? Somewhere there's got to be a chance for 3 somewhere.
She could run the corner in.
She could. She could come off her own for 2.
Yeah.
Right? If she's not looking at that.
No, if she did it really thin, she might be able to stick her. But that would probably be the easier one to come in off your own.
I like the coming in off your own.
Yep.
I want to say this. I want to tell the coach to go bang on the glass.
Kathy is motioning a T with her hands here as we speak.
No, I think she's downstairs, actually, if you can't see me or hear me. So, I think I would want to be calling a timeout if I was the coach. I like the come off of your own for 2.
Now, she might be trying to split off of her own. I don't.
But no, she's just trying to make an open draw here.
Yeah. It looks like it's just a little bit light.
She's not going to have enough gas in that to get to where she needs to go. So it's another steal of 1 for Brooke Godsland. So she is now going to go up 7-1.
Yeah.
And we will be right back. So, welcome back, everyone. Currently, we sit at 7-1 for Godsland over Blandford. It is the seventh end, and Team Blandford retains last rock. So you see the corner guard in play. You see the center.
Camille's right back to business.
The first draw to the 4-foot for Camille, and the second draw to the 4-foot for Camille. And now Megan is going around the corner guard. So more of the same. Great plan. Great plan. Hopefully the execution will follow, and the girls can put a little bit of pressure back on Team Godsland, get back in this game. There is time, not a lot, but they have time, and they can do it if they can get a big score in this end or the next. They're not out of this game by any stretch.
Yeah, just even sometimes getting rid of hammer, getting a 2 and just moving on kind of changes the momentum. This looks like a nice shot if the weight's there.
It does. Everyone's working on it.
Even a biter would be
Doesn't
pretty
need
nice.
to be shot. It just needs to be in the rings.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty good.
It's a great shot. Good shot. Good for them. A little tiny sliver of it sticking out, I think, Scott. But Brooke is calling it. She better be careful though. Can't take the front because that gets replaced.
Exactly.
So you got to play enough right. You got to play enough ice. Quieter hit, I think, on this one based on the ice that I see. Although I do think this curls a little bit in this spot.
Yeah, I think it can hang if she kind of gets it a little wide off center. I think it can hang, but if she's true to the broom here, I think it'll move nice over.
Yeah, Sarah's a good thrower. I like how she's very straight. So I feel like she'll be in the ballpark here.
She's real close. She's only going to have a piece of it, but that's plenty.
I don't think she could hit any more than a piece of it. There you go. It's a great shot. She's going to stick over here.
Around too.
She's going to stick around over here.
What do I know? Any big spin back? No. Wow.
No. This is not Grand Slam ice.
No.
Doesn't spin back like that down here. Yeah. So Megan's calling the same shot. I think I didn't see the call, but she's
broom's in the same spot, so I would imagine.
There we go.
And she doesn't need to get it much more buried.
So while we're watching these rocks come down, just to let you know, in the sheet 2 game, they've tied it up. Parker and Andrew are really duking it out. 1 point in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, 1 in 6. So it's 2-2. And Parker Tipple has last rock in the 7th end. And on the other update is the other women's game. Nope, not that one. Sorry, the other men's game. 3-1 now for Ty DeLello over Corey Shue. And Ty has last rock in the 7th end. So he's up a couple of points, and he's got the hammer. He's in control of that game right now.
Tell you what, we are 10 rocks into that 7th end, and they are all in play still. So
yeah, lots of rocks in play over
but
there.
a lot of them are DeLellos. So Shue's going to have to
Yeah,
move
you're right.
a
I
few
can see a
around.
lot of blue.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of blue. So a very good attempt at getting around the corner guard for Megan and team. They didn't quite get it under, and
yeah, they kind of chipped and rolled a little bit off the top one, but didn't quite bury.
Yeah, that's what happened. Was it? Okay, I missed that while I was doing the update. So there's 3 yellow rocks in play now. This is a bit of trouble for Megan and team. So she's going to hit this one on the top 4. And there's enough room for her to squeeze in under, I think, that yellow-blue guard combination. I'll call it a guard combination, even though the yellow one's in the top 8.
All the
They're
yellows are in
staggered,
rings,
so
exactly.
it's a good situation to roll under, I should say.
Yeah, she did motion at the double, so it's possible she's trying to hit this nose.
In-turn hit.
Now this is probably going to hit
This
the
is
right
this
yellow.
is curling hard actually. Yeah. So she's going to change her mind now and go after the top one.
Yeah, will it stick? That's the
I
question.
I think so.
Stick.
Yeah, it'll stick
Pretty-
over there on
pretty far
the
out
corner
there,
of the
but-
4, I believe.
Yeah.
That's all she needs. It counts if it's in the rings.
The outside biters, they you never know when they're going to come into play.
No, you don't.
No, I think Brooke's calling the center guard. She
I
could
think
run
she
up and
is.
peel, but I mean, she's got two nice ones there on center. And to your point, it's been working for her so far.
She can
Yeah.
run up and peel. She can also hit the blue one that's in the corner
Yep.
there.
Yep.
She doesn't need any points. She's got to think about what is Megan going to do if I do that. And, you know, I think Megan's going to play the hit and roll under. So you got to protect what's on the forefoot. I like the call, even though it isn't, it's defensive in that she's trying to defend herself. But it's not a wide open sort of defense. It's a nice shot, actually.
Slips top 12.
Yeah, and I don't mind that in this particular instance.
Yeah, the one thing, you know, you roll top 12, and so Blandford's running up to play the hit. So she can now hit and roll under the corner
She can.
for a counter. So then there will be two blues in play.
There will. Mm-hmm.
You don't love maybe rolling it into the 12-foot, but, you know, she does guard the two
She did
yellows
it,
and four, so not too bad.
No. She did lie 3, which is a little bit of a bonus.
Yep.
But this, you're right about this. This is an opportunity. Ouch. Too bad.
Yeah.
A little bit, maybe a lot of weight there. When you're looking at 3 rocks, you sometimes do throw a little bit more than you intend. It's too bad. It was really important to stick that shooter.
Yeah.
This is just going to give Brooke an opportunity to do it better this time.
Yep.
But if she does come in, I do still like the chances here for Megan. She can get a hit and roll under and keep going under.
You are not wrong. It's when you're trying to move 3 rocks, sometimes it's just I don't know.
It's sort of a
it's
subconscious
adrenaline
thing, isn't
or
it?
what
Yeah.
it is that takes over. But yeah, you kick out like with rocket fuel or something. But I'm not. This one's not going to come in. This is she has made this guard a little bit better.
Yeah.
She made the adjustment. So
Yeah.
But it is a higher guard too.
It is. It's a higher guard, but I don't see any
It's guarding it really
disadvantage to
well.
it. It's covering. It's covering, and that's really all that matters.
She might think about Blandford might think about playing some sort of back 4 or back 8 tap here on the top yellow, trying to create a little pocket for a freeze
Looks
on her
like
next.
it. Yeah, looks like it. She's coming a bit wide. She might be trying to freeze the back one too.
Yeah, she did motion to that one as well. Yeah, you freeze the back one, you're probably shot rock. So
I think so,
It's not a
yeah.
bad call either.
I think it'll go in there on this turn.
Yeah, I think so
This
too.
is the other part of this. The hole that's created with the 2 guards is that's the outturn side, and that is straight as a whip. So I don't know if there's much opportunity for her on that side.
Yeah, she probably got to keep playing on this side of the ice.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh.
Just a little bit light.
Yeah,
And another guard
that's
for
not gonna
Brooks
help her.
too on the 4-foot there.
No. I think the girls got a little bit of undercurl or underweight going on here now. That's a few rocks that they've thrown a bit short. And that's not, sometimes when you get down a lot of points like this, you're out there and you feel a little desperate.
Yep.
And you lose a little confidence and a little concentration. And then it happens to the best of them out there, and you just you're not as sharp as you were at the beginning of the game. You don't necessarily feel comfortable in your mind knowing exactly what draw weight is anymore. And I see a little bit of that going on here now, I think, and it's really too bad. It's a lesson that every curler has to learn.
Certainly.
But it's a sin. You don't want to watch it happening, right? You
No,
just don't.
it's not a fun lesson.
No,
for her.
no.
Yeah.
This is the kind of lesson that you want to learn when no one's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From watching other people do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Good lessons. Though.
Yes.
They're all good
Yes.
lessons. You do take a lot away. We always say, anytime that we played over the years that any team that I was on, we always took away a lot more from a loss than you ever do from a win.
They certainly stick in the
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah, they do. They really difficult stick too, right? They stick like flies to paper, kind of a bad stick. You can never get rid of them. They haunt you.
Yeah, they're they're going through my mind now that you brought them up.
I got you thinking.
Yeah, exactly. This time of the game too, it's seventh end, and I mean, curling's so complex. I mean, the ice is changing all the time, so it's definitely possible that it's slowing down, and they hadn't quite picked up on it.
Oh, for sure.
Or there's sometimes you're afraid to overshoot it when you need your rocks to be counters, when you are needing to generate points. You're so afraid to throw it through the rings that it's because a guard is better than a through the rings. It's
definitely.
So there's psychology.
I mean, most of the time it is
conditions.
Yeah. I mean, in Megan's case here now, unfortunately for her, sometimes you do say to yourself, guard is better, short is better, front of the tee line is better, those types of things.
Yeah.
But right now, unfortunately for her, is they have to be so precise to generate points that short isn't going to be better now, or a couple of feet long isn't going to be better. The perfection is required in order for them to score, and unfortunately they just don't have it right now. And right now they're in deep. There isn't a shot to make. It's a tough shot.
Very tough. Whatever she chooses.
She can come around this outside yellow, and I think she can get it into the 4 foot. But that's for a point. I don't know how you get two. So,
and I mean, she's playing. I guess she's probably playing the double run back.
Yeah, exactly. And now your skip is playing a double run back.
Yeah.
This is not the kind of shot a skip wants to have to make when you're already down 6 points. So.
And I mean, the reality is, even if she makes this double run back, there's a high likelihood that the blue is exposed or that the rocks are not.
I do hope she makes it.
I do too. I mean,
she'll feel better about it if she does.
It's coming down. Looks like she's just going to get the single peel there.
Yeah.
Does open up the run back on her last for a point.
She does, yeah. She does. Well, although Brooke has got a rock in between here, so.
Yeah.
And she's going to throw another guard on top of that run back, I imagine. There's a second run back over on the other side.
Yeah.
And it is still for 2 points.
You're right. It is 2 for 2 points.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's still for 2 points if she can make the run back double. It'd be better for her if she has access to the center line blue rock. I think that run back double is a little bit easier. The other one is going to have to come across the top of the yellow rock.
Moving out of the rings
it will be moving to the right. Yeah. But it's there.
Yep.
With the right weight. But Brooke is going to try and take something away now, and I imagine that straight run is the one that she's aiming for.
Yeah.
Just throw a guard on top of that.
This might be over curling. The weight is good, but I'm not sure if she's gonna guard the blue perfectly or not. It might be good enough.
Megan's down there going, go.
Yeah.
Get out of my way.
Yeah. Although she's lined it up. I mean, maybe she thinks there's enough curl on this side. And maybe it's edge on edge. She is.
No, I think she's going to find out when she gets to the hack.
Yeah.
This is not there.
I
think she's better off playing the other blue one.
Yeah, that would be my gut as well.
I do think she needs to play the other one.
This one might be there for one, but I don't think she can throw enough weight at it.
Yeah, I mean the
curl past the top.
Agreed. Yeah. I agree. The guard looks higher than it actually is too in this picture.
Yeah.
It's not quite. There's not that much room between those two rocks, so there's not a lot of room to curl after you've gone by the top one. Not a lot of distance between the two.
Well, either way, she's thrown it now.
Yeah,
so.
she is.
And she's
close.
She is pretty close on this.
She's close. She is close. No.
Just over curled.
Oh, another seal of 2, unfortunately, for Team Godsland.
And that looks like it is it for the game.
It looks like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, final score of 9-1 for Team Godsland over Team Blandford, and that improves Team Godsland's record to 4-1 and keeps her in first place, which is where she wants to be after today. I'm sure it is.
It's always good to be atop of the leaderboard.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And in before we sign off from the stream on sheet 4, I'll update you and tell you that there is in the other women's games, the Wendy Dunn, Carrie Vachur game, Carrie has picked up another point in the 8th end, so she is now up 8 to 2 over Wendy Dunn, and chucking right along there, I think. They're still in this.
That's in the 7th end.
Seventh end over on sheet 5, and no score or no change. Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry. There was a steal of 1 there by Team Boland, so now it is 6 to 4 for Curtis.
Oh yeah.
For Curtis in the 7th end.
So that's turned into a tight game there now. Yeah.
And over on sheet 6 in the men's game, Corey Shue and Ty DeLello. Ty DeLello has stolen 2 more points.
Ooh, and they're
So
playing the
he
8.
is now up 5 to 1 after 7, 3 ends of play left, and Corey Shue's face is getting
A little red there now.
a little, yeah. He's not in a good place, I
No.
imagine, right now. But he's got time, 3 ends left. But
They're
his
gonna
back
need to
is
crack
against
a
the
big
wall,
one, yep.
And he is on his face, so he's got to win this game. He doesn't have a second life like Ty does. And in the other men's game on sheet 2, looks like it's still tied up over there,
Yes. Yeah.
2 to 2. So
It looks.
that is a very exciting game going on.
That's
over
going to be a
there.
barn murder to the
Yeah,
end, I would
yeah.
imagine.
So as we sign off here on sheet 4, just a note to our viewers that you can still get the scores on curlingnl.ca if you want to follow along to find out the results of these games. And we still are streaming on sheet 3. So if you get out of this program, go back into the other one. You can get some more updates for another few minutes. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you again in the morning.
Sounds good. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott.
Hey, thank you. Pleasure.
Pleasure. Yeah, pleasure. Enjoyed the day.